Hello everyone and welcome to Harmia. This video is a guide to how to ensoul or consecrate idols, statuettes, god poles, etc. That's something we get asked a lot. What to do before starting to use something that is to be put on one's altar or in a shrine or sacred grove and so on. In a sense, how to awaken and activate the object. In this case, I'll guide you through the ensoulment or consecration ritual of an idol of the Indo-European fire in water god, Hepom Nepots, or Apam Napat. You can read a lot more about him here on the platform. Very important. But before I show you the ritual, we are of course going to learn why we do these things. Let's not build the roof of the house before we've laid the foundation and built the walls, as always. First of all, a very important thing to remember. Us pagans do not worship idols. That's something we've been accused of for millennia, but it's completely incorrect. Those who claim that we worship idols, be it people from Abrahamic religions or misled pagans, they simply haven't understood the point and the symbolism of consecration. So let me once and for all set this straight. Pagans do not worship idols. We offer the gods and spirits an abode, and we worship the presence of this god or spirit within that abode or that place. The very word consecrate, just like sacred and sacrifice, stems from to cut something off, to fence it in and dedicate it to one sole purpose or personality. That's something you'll hear about in many other lessons in here. So to consecrate, for example, an idol is to create an abode for someone or something that we worship. And we offer that abode to and invite that god or spirit to inhabit it. The earliest Indo-European peoples built temporary sacred spaces and fire altars for their rituals. And they decorated, adorned, and made that space and altar as comfortable and as beautiful as possible before inviting the divine guests. So a very authentic Indo-European thing to do is to strew grass or hay around and on the altar so that the divine guest has a comfortable place to sit. In the world of Indo-European pagans, an idol has never been just an object or image. It is a temporary abode, a body or a vessel for the presence of the divine. If the sacred is what's been cut off and dedicated to that purpose, then the holy is the very focal point where spirit enters the material. The cosmos itself is alive. Every spring, every river, every mountain has a soul, a genius, a spirit that animates it. The same spark that animates the universe, the same breath that animates the body, is invoked to animate this image or idol or statuette. The boundary between spirit and matter is permeable. Spirit can descend into the physical, and matter could ascend toward the divine through ritual action. The divine is not a remote abstraction, but a living presence that can dwell among people in temples, groves, hearths, and crafted forms. So by consecrating an object, we align it with cosmic order, turning raw substance into an abode or a vessel of megin or numen or prāṇa or whatever you want to call it, the sacred life force. And it's super important to remember that outside ritual, or the sacred space. Your sculpture is just a sculpture, but within ritual or that sacred space is not only a sculpture, but a real living spirit. It doesn't represent, but it presents. That's a very important difference. The same thing as that we don't worship idols, but the divine presence, which is there when invoked. The idol or statuette does not represent within ritual. The deity or spirit presents. To ensoul an idol is to invite the god or spirit to inhabit the world, to make the divine perceptible and local. It is a reciprocal act. Humans offer form and devotion. The deity offers presence and power. Across the Indo-European world, from Vedic India to ancient Greece, from the Celtic groves to the Norse temples, we find echoes of this same belief. In the Vedic world, it was called prāṇa, pratiṣṭhā, literally meaning establishing the breath. Prāṇa is the life force or breath. Priests whispered mantras, anointed the idol with oils, spread soft grass around it and on it, and they invited the deity to take residence. The eyes were often open last, symbolizing the moment of divine vision, so-called drush or darshan in modern Hinduism. In ancient Greece and Rome, it was called empsúchōsis, meaning ensoulment or animation. This refers to the moment when divine soul and lifeless matter unites. So to perform an empsúchōsis is to reenact creation, to infuse psyche into form. When a new statue was installed, and before it could be used, it had to be ritually purified and the spirit invited. Rituals of purification, hymns, libations, incense, and sacrifice activated it. The god or spirit was believed to enter the image, turning it from mere craftsmanship into a true presence. The idol, statue, or image had now become entheos, filled with a god or spirit. So our word enthusiasm or enthusiastic literally means having the god within. It describes both divine inspiration and possession, the same word used for poets, prophets, and worshippers seized by this ecstasy. It's of course also related to the divine frenzy and inspiration of Odin. Among the Celts and Germanic peoples, the idols and even weapons and trees could be consecrated through blood and invocation. Offerings of food, wine, or life itself fed the spirit within, binding the divine to the material. In some cases, the Germanics call this smyrja, to anoint. We still have that word smyrja in Swedish. Now, with this background and understanding, let's learn how to perform this idol consecration ritual. Let's go.